Hello friends, if you only knew the magnificence of the number 369, you would have the key to the secret of the universe. This is a saying by Tesla. So I got inspired by the number 369. Why is this 369? What has it to do with 369 and so on? And before contemplating into the number 369, I stumbled upon the number 4321 and the concept of time. So thought of sharing that with you, sharing my view on the numbers 4321 and the concept of time with respect to the concept of time. So let's start this discussion with the concept of time. The time in the Vedic system starts from Shruti as the smallest unit of measure of time. So one Shruti loosely equates to about 0.3 microseconds, and it goes all the way to Renu and so on, and one Binadi equating to 30 seconds, one Nadi equating to 31 minutes, and one Murta um, going close to 62 minutes, and so on. So this is just the unit of measurement of time alone, and from here it again goes into days. The solar days, the human or the solar year, and then the Pitru year, which is the ancestral world, and from then on it goes beyond a Brahma's day and so on, Kalpas, Manmantras, and so on. So we are not going into in detail into how it is classified. If you could Google it, you can pretty much see how it is classified. In this video, I'm just going to talk about the relation of time and the number 432. So typically, the time itself is kind of considered as a Maya, like a plane which is a imaginary plane or the dimension with which we could uh, experience this world, like time and space. Only with time and space we are experiencing this phenomenal universe. This phenomenal world exists because of the relative consciousness with respect to time and space. Beyond this relative consciousness, beyond this phenomenal world, exists the real world, which is beyond phenomena, because it does not have time and space. But to reach there, you have to have a common factor which is existing in both the phenomenal world and the nominal real world. Okay, let's not get much into that discussion at this point. With this video, I'm just going to talk about only the time with respect to this relative world in this phenomenal world, and the four yugas, the number 4321, and the four under the Savataras, which happened, which is distributed equally in the four yugas, not equally, which is distributed in the four yugas like 4321, and the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, also divided as, like, 4321 in the different yugas, and pretty much that's what I'm gonna cover here. Okay, so let's start with the time scale of a Brahma's day. A Brahma's day comprises of 10,000 units, or 10,000 charanas, not charanas, 10,000 years, which is divided into, say, approximately 10 charanas. Not 10 charanas, like one charana equals about 4,32,000 years. Like 4,32,000 years is the number of years for one yuga, which is Kali Yuga. Twice the number of that, it's like 8,64,000 years, is Dwapara Yuga 2. And thrice the number of years is like about 1.296 million, is Treta Yuga, 3 times of Kali Yuga. And 4 times of it is the Satya Yuga. So 4321. Okay. Similarly, the number of avatars made by Lord Vishnu is 4321. In Satyayuga, he makes four avatars like Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, uh, Varaha Avatara, and Narasimha Avatara. In Treta Yuga, he makes three avatars, which is Vamana, Parashurama, and Rama. In Dwapara Yuga, it's Krishna and Balarama, and in Kali Yuga, it's Kalki. Some school of thought has Buddha as one of the avatara and not Balarama, but I follow a different school of thought where Krishna and Balarama are considered avatars. Regardless, it's two avatars for Dwapara Yuga. Okay, and then one avatara for Kali Yuga, which is Kalki. So 4321. The other 4321 is the number of avatars, and the other 4321 is the number of Purusharthas that is prevalent in each yuga. In Satya Yuga, you have all the four Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. All four Purusharthas are followed in its entirety in existing in a perfect harmony. So they existed in equilibrium. Okay, so that's Satya Yuga. And then when you come down to the next Yuga, Treta Yuga, it's three times, and you had three avatars at that point, and only three Purusharthas existed. One of them got shredded off. So only three persisted, and the moksha part got cut off. Like I won't say cut off, it got sidelined. The priority has reduced. Only three existed. And then in Dwapara Yuga, only two, like even the Dharma part has gone haywire, and it's only the Artha and Kama part existed. If you see exactly during the Mahabharata time, everyone who claimed that they are following the Dharma are the ones who destroyed it in the first place. Right? Like for example, right from Bhishma to King Pandu to King to Dronacharya, to Karna, you can name it. So everyone tried to follow the Dharma, but in the end they did not follow the Dharma. They thought, they assumed and they thought they are following the right Dharma, but they did not. And that's the whole war is about. And it's not just that war, it's beyond that war. Everywhere it's the same concept that the Dharma part has declined. Only the Artha and Kama part existed. So what is Artha and what is Kama? It's Kama, as you know, it's just a desire. It's just the satisfaction of desire is called Kama. So it's sometimes it is portrayed in a negative picture. It's not so. Any desire that you fulfill is Kama, for which you use your body, your mind, your sense organs. It is called Kama. Like I have an ice cream, it is a desire. I enjoy an ice cream, it is a Kama, right? uh, to enjoy an ice cream, I need to earn an ice cream, right? I work, I earn, I get money, I go and buy an ice cream, I eat an ice cream, and I assimilate, digest and assimilate that ice cream. Only then it is complete. So that's where the Artha part comes in. Artha is that you own it, and then you deserve it, and then you own it. The deserved part is the Artha, Kama part is you own it. So these two at least existed. Like if you say, I need to fight the war and I need to win the war to claim something, right? And then Kali Yuga is something like even the Artha part has gone into the back burner. Only Kama prevailed, right? So I want my desires to be fulfilled regardless of what. I don't deserve it, but I don't care. I want it. I won't work out for an ice cream. I won't go and earn money for an ice cream. No, I still want an ice cream. I won't work out after eating an ice cream to spend that energy, to spend that calorie. I still want that ice cream. So, power without responsibility, uh, position without capability, without talent or anything, and and so on. So that's what is kind of the theme that happened to be the theme for Kali Yuga. So with the Kali Yuga, as we see, the karma part alone existed. You can relate it pretty much with the real life world. And it has gone so low that even to enjoy the karma, you end up depending on external factors, external, for example, substance abuse, right? So even for enjoying my own karma, it has gone to a level that I depend on other drugs and other external things. Like say for example, I want to eat an ice cream, but I cannot eat an ice cream, so I take a pill before, so I can eat an ice cream. And then I take another pill, so I get hungry, I eat an ice cream, I get another pill for the ice cream to digest and assimilate, and another pill because I have diabetes or whatever, and I need to straighten that out, and so on. So even to enjoy one single cup of ice cream, like karma, I'm dependent on so many external factors. So even the karma part has corrupted so much. So this is when it dawns into a person, right? So like I go to a realization that no, it is wrong to enjoy something without owning it. The very I would enjoy anything in its entirety, in its completeness, only when I own it. So uh, that cognizance dawns on a person during the advent of Dwapara Yuga. Um, Let me take a step back here about the time and the yugas. Okay, so what are these yugas in the first place? What is the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga? I have read about it, heard about it, but what is the truth behind it? Let me relate it with the four seasons. Okay, so we have summer, winter, spring, and fall. So, right. So these four seasons are with respect to its proximity to the sun, to the light, to the heat, right? During summertime, you have long hours of sunlight, and it's scorching heat. You get more sun, and then during winter time, it's the other way, and so on. Similarly, this entire solar system revolves around something else. Say, for example, the center of the Milky Way galaxy, maybe. And even this galaxy is kind of it revolves around something else and something else. So the point is, when this system is close enough to this another center point called Satyam, or called the Satyanarayana, or the Anantanarayana, however you may call it with a pointer, but it is that central light, central source, central truth, right? So if you are close to that, you tend to have all the virtues already flaming in you, like all the four Purusharthas. And then when you are a little away from it, the virtues reduce and so on. Similarly, then this is how the seasons, like the four yugas, are classified, and this is the reasoning behind it. Also, why this 4-3-2-1, right? So time is kind of relative here. So we can explain this concept 4-3-2-1, like four times of Kali Yuga as Satya Yuga, three times of Kali Yuga as Treta Yuga, two times as Dwapara Yuga, one time is Kali Yuga. So time, as you know, is relative. When you do something pleasant, you can do it for longer time, or time feels shorter. When you do something really hard, it's longer. That's the obvious thing, right? I My stamina, my say for example, I can run for an hour in a rough terrain, in a scorching hot weather, where I'm much dehydrated. I don't have any other external aids or support from climate or water or anything. If that is the case, if I'm able to run 1 hour, What if, with all other conditions remaining the same, with a downhill terrain or a flat terrain, right? In that case, probably I can run twice. What if I add another feature, like, it's very pleasant spring weather, right? So very pleasant spring weather. Um, I can add one more other extra. And if you add other external feature, like say for example you get water or sugary drinks to boost you up, I can run one more extra. So pretty much it's that same relative time concept, right? So when all the purusharthas there in you tend to run for a longer while. When it is reduced, obviously the time also is reducing in the perfect ratio. So that's the other 4321 part, the 4321 yugas, and then the 4321 purusharthas, and also the 4321 avatars that was main, right? So in Satya Yuga, like it said that we have four avatars in Satya Yuga: Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, Narasimha Avatara, Varaha Avatara, and Narasimha Avatara. Okay, and then in Treta Yuga, it's three avatars like Vamana Avatara, Parshurama Avatara, Rama Avatara, right? So even these avatars, right? So for Satya Yuga's four avatars are like not Purna Avatara, like not complete. He was not born here, raised here. He did his whole life cycle here. No, he came for a short time, did his work, his mission is accomplished, and he went back. Like he came as a fish and saved something. He came as a tortoise and did something, and so on. And his avatar is also mentioned, like with a specific purpose to save. For example, it's to save the Vedas. It's the enemy in this case is either a natural calamity or save the world from water or save the world from something else or save the world from one single king or one single wrong person who is still mighty and powerful but has a wrong concept, has a wrong idea in him. So it's just one small factor. Most likely it was a natural factor. So that's what it's all about in Satya Yuga. Whereas in Treta Yuga, the dialects change a little bit. So the climate changes there, right? So Vamana Avatara, for example, right? So there is one king who is preaching the wrong thing, and he is more showing his arrogance, and he's not that completely wrong person doing the wrong devilish thing. No, he has he is all powerful, and it's not that he got his power by luck or anything. He owned it, he deserved it, and he owned it, and so on. But he had his negative qualities. So that one negative quality needs to be discarded, and for that, the Vaman Avtara was essential. It doesn't need any Narasimha Avtara or a Purna Avtara to come and do a whole full set of war to discard him. Still, there was no need to discard him, only to discard one wrong negative aspect of him. Similarly, Parshurama Avatara, right, it was a little bit more in an elevated way, like, instead of one king, the whole clan of king, I won't say king, the whole ruling community, the whole administration group started behaving badly, started acting very arrogantly, and so on. So you can pretty much relate this even with the current modern day world, where, like, say, for example, the whole politician group, not only politician group, any governing bodies, right? So right from politicians to the law enforcement, like police or judicial system, all these groups are not only corrupted, they are also arrogant, right? So in that case, their arrogance, they need to be destroyed, and we need a riddance of them. So for this purpose, Parashurama came in. He took the vow that, I will destroy all the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas in this sense, as I said, is right, all the administrative and governing bodies, right, including homeland uh, and border security and so on. Following that, you have the Rama Avatara. where a wrong king has set a wrong example in the minds of people. Um, it's not just a governing body; it's more widespread there, with in the mind of people that I can do anything, so I have the ability to do anything, so I can do anything. So there was no self-discipline there, right? So the king Ravana was still he has his valor, and he is capable of so many things. He's all powerful, all knowledgeable, and so on. And so he thought, okay, I have things, so um, I can do things. Why can't I take things in my own hands? So no, then the Ramayana was to establish some self-discipline in the minds of people. No, you cannot, just because you cannot do anything that um, your mind freely wants. You don't have a free flow there. So you need to follow certain rules, certain discipline in this world. So that enforcement happened through the Rama Avatara, and then in Krishna Avatara it was much more in a elevated. It's not just a complete plain human. Um, the dialect was different. There was, except it said that except the working class, everyone else was corrupted in that time frame. So the dharma was completely lost. Everyone lost their dharma and did their own thing, claiming it as dharma. They still did something, of course, to enjoy to reap the benefit. So they get the credit for that. However, the dharma part was lost. So the Krishna and Balarama Avtara uh, had to come to neatly wipe them off. So in that case, Kalki Avatara is like one single Avatara. However, it is more in a more complex part. It's not one single issue. It's not one single community. It's not one single demon, or it's not one single problem either. I wouldn't say problem, one single misconception or misunderstanding either. It's a multiple failure, a multiple complexity. It's easy to annihilate than to set things right. Right? So, but annihilation, as I said, is not the intent here. Um, so there is an ascending cycle and descending cycle, as I said earlier. Right? So there is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, and from Kali Yuga it again goes to Dwapara Yuga, um, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. It's like day and night, from day to night and night to day. It's not just a cut off at Kali Yuga and restart from Satya Yuga, right? So similarly, for Kalki Avatara, you need much more powerful, much more, more and more and more subtle with high level of energy, with high level of multitasking, potent, omniscient power to cater to this kind of world and set back the equilibrium. So from Kali Yuga again, it is said that okay, slowly people start realizing, right? So as I said, the nature of Kali Yuga is that it's only karma, and that too unsolicited, um, like I undeserved karma. Even for karma, you are dependent on external substance or external things. At that point, you realize, no, I need to be responsible for my own karma. Mm, like I need to own my own things to enjoy my own desires. So people started working towards their satisfaction, right? So then it is said that you elevated from Kali Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. From Dwapara Yuga again, it's more like okay, you earn it and you deserve it, and you earn it, you deserve it, and you own it. You work for something, you enjoy something. If this is getting if this is what is continuing, and what's the purpose? I have a depression of success here, right? So right now it's pretty much what people do. They run from Monday to Friday, from weekend to weekday, and then month end and year end and so on. It's running. I work, I enjoy, I work for my vacation, I enjoy. I work for my weekend, I enjoy the weekend. And where's the end to it? There is a depression here of success. Of course, success here is measured in terms of with the yardstick of your karma or your ability to have the karma. It's pretty much precisely your power and money. So with that depression, slowly it dawns into people's mind that I need a dharma, I need a purpose. Otherwise, if not for the purpose, my life is very mechanical. Say, for example, I work from 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday, and then I get bored of things, and then one fine day suddenly my manager shows in and says, you know, all these days I never said, said you this, but all the things that you have been working for is towards this bigger picture for this bigger development, and you are part of this phenomenal bigger development. Suddenly my motivation factor boosts up, correct? Similarly, that motivation factor is called dharma. It dawns in that you work towards a bigger dharma for a bigger future. Say, for example, I'm an architect, I'm part of a bigger, better, nicer future that I leave for my children and grandchildren and the generation, so forth. So my intention, my purpose drives me there. I am now much more satisfied, happy, clean. I have a solid, genuine purpose called dharma. And I am capable and I am working up there. I am getting the reward for what I am working on. Only the moksha part is pending. However, you also get a boredom from all these doing these things. Yeah, fine, I work with a purpose, and then I work, and then I leave. But what is there for me? I'm still not satisfied. I'm still craving for something else. That's when the moksha comes. Moksha is the ultimate freedom or the ultimate knowledge. You can call it in both ways. The ultimate knowledge of everything, the fundamental knowledge that I am free. So when you are completely free, you have that complete peace in you, right? That complete peace is called complete happiness, bliss, kingdom of heaven, whatever, however you may call it. That is called moksha, and that is what you are working towards. So it dawns in that that is my ultimate aim, and then you work towards that, and you are said to be in Satya, right? So one more thing I want to highlight here is in all these yugas, there is one common factor. The common factor here is karma. Karma was there in Satya Yuga in all of the yugas, including Kali Yuga. Also, moksha was an indirect common factor in all these yugas. All the calm, all the desires you have been yearning and enjoying is for that moksha only. Meaning, I need happiness. I thought all these things are going to give me happiness, so I keep enjoying the calm. I keep hopping from one to other, one happiness to another, to another, to another. I'm not satisfied with this limited happiness because I need that unlimited happiness. That unlimited happiness, that unlimited bliss is called moksha. If moksha can be related to Shiva, karma can be related to Shakti, goddess, right? So goddess, that's why goddess is also called Shiva Kama Sundari. Okay, so the concept of Nataraja is called Shiva Kama Sundari. So she is the driving factor. She is the Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, the karma, the force behind the karma. She is the driving factor that for this karma I need to do this, for this karma I need to do this, for my satisfaction. Why do I do all these things? Because I need satisfaction, I need happiness, I need contentment. So this is the driving factor, and in the end, even for that, you are depending on so many things. And in the end, what is that I have been searching for? It is that bliss, that moksha. Because of that, I've been running all around. So goddess through karma has been the driving factor, all the way driving and chasing you towards Shiva. Her only job is to drive you and take you to Shiva, which is moksha. And Shiva always existed directly or indirectly. Like, he was the pulling factor. You enjoy something, you are happy, but still he remains, hey, no, there is this bigger happiness. There's this complete bliss, right? So your relative happiness shrinks that. I enjoy something, it's pleasurable to me today, not the same thing after 10 days. I get bored. It is that Shiva factor which is pulling, which is reminding you, no, that's not enough, more. That's not enough, more. That more will come until it is complete happiness. So that's the point here, right? So both Shiva and Shakti were existing together. Those two are the common factors. Those two are the ones who have been driving you and pulling you. Like, one is pulling you, one is pushing you, and driving you all around. So that's pretty much where I want to conclude this particular topic. We'll go further into, like, what is this Shakti and Shiva and so on, and then even more in detail about, like, the concept of time, and in detail about the worship modes, in detail about the phenomenal existential universe that we see, which is with respect to time and space, versus the nominal universe, the real world, which is just consciousness, which is not dependent on time and space, and so on. So we'll continue to see that in our next posting. Until then, thank you.